Hello, Assalamualaikum and welcome to Magsinūg Kita. Let's Speak Sinūg, a series of online lessons by yours truly, Doc Ahmad, also known as Tausug 101, Learn Sinūg in Anything Tausug. This will be our third lesson entitled Ako, Ikaw, Siya. Me, you, and he or she actually, or in short, the pronouns. Again, I'm Ahmad. Welcome to our online sharing about the Sinūg language, also known as Bahasa. So in this lesson, we will be discussing the three different types of pronouns, but we will be discussing in details only the first group, which is the nominative pronouns, and we will also discuss a little bit of verb focus. We will introduce to you on basic verbs and verb focus. Okay, moving on, let's go. And a reminder, it's best if you have a notebook to take down notes, and if you haven't watched the previous lessons, you can watch it here at our YouTube channel and download our transcriptions, the slides for these lessons in the link stated below. Ako, ikaw, siya, lesson 3. So pronouns, or in here we call them panublingan, are words that are used to replace a noun, subject or an object, that can either stand on its own or not. It is someone or something that is mentioned in the sentence. So we will coin the term panublingan. This is the first time that we will use it here. Panubli means to replace, from the root word subli, and ngan meaning name, or it came from the root word kangan-nganan, which is nouns. So there are three types of pronouns or panublingan in the Sinūg language. We have the nominative pronouns, the oblique pronouns, and the genitive pronouns. Here are the pronouns in the Sinūg language. We have three different forms: the nominative pronouns, the oblique form, and the genitive form. But in this lesson, we will only discuss the first form, which is the nominative form, and the last two forms we will discuss in the next lesson, KANSIYU INI, lesson 4. So, okay, as you can see, the pronouns here, we also have singular forms, dual forms, and plural forms. Singular forms are easy to understand. We have the first person, second person, and third person. Dual forms, meaning the first and the second person are included here. And we have the plural forms. We have 4 different types of forms in the plural form. It depends on the what we call the exclusion. So there are 4 exclusion types in the plural forms. We have the first exclusion, wherein no one is excluded. So both the first person, the second person, and or the third person is included. So an example here is the pronoun kita niyo. It means all of us. Then we have the second exclusion, wherein the second person, you, is excluded. So an example here is the pronoun kami. The third exclusion, this time the first person, me, is excluded. So an example is the pronoun kamu. And then fourth exclusion is wherein both the first and the second person are excluded, and only the third person or the others are included in the statement. We have the pronoun, as example here we have the pronoun sila. Okay. So to give you a more detailed discussion, we have here. So let's have the orange circle as the first person, ako, the green circle as the second person, ikaw, and the blue circles to represent the third person, siya or sila, because we have 3. So when we mention the first exclusion, what we mean by it, remember what we said in the first exclusion, there are no one is excluded. That means the first person, ako, the second person, ikaw, and the third person, siya or sila, are included. So we use the plural form kita niyo, all of us. Then we have the second exclusion. The second exclusion states that the second person, ikaw, is excluded. So only the first person and the third person are included. So with this, we use the plural form kami, us, except you, kami. In the third exclusion, this time it's the first person, ako, who is excluded. So the second person, ikaw, and the third person, siya or sila, are included. This time we use the pronoun kamu. Kamu means you, except me. And lastly, the fourth exclusion, wherein both the first person and the second person are excluded, and only the third persons are included. So this time we use the pronoun sila, they. So except us. Okay, so in summary, we have these 4 different exclusion types of plural forms of pronouns. We have the kita niyo, wherein all of us are included, kami, wherein the second person is excluded, kamu, wherein the first person is excluded, and sila, wherein both the first person and the second person are excluded. That's all for exclusion. Another important note with pronouns in the Sinūg language, pronouns in the Sinūg language has no gender forms. It means we have no masculine or feminine forms, unlike other language like Arabic. So the third person pronouns can be used on both gender, both for male or female. So an example here is the pronoun siya. This is a third person singular pronoun. It can mean both he or she in the English language. Now let's discuss the nominative pronouns, panublingan 1. So nominative pronouns are simple descriptive pronouns and are independent. They can stand on their own, on its own. So we have here a singular form, aku, ikaw, siya. Aku, ikaw, siya. Dual, kita. And plural, kita niyo, kami, kamu, sila. There are 4 plural forms. So try to memorize these 8 nominative pronouns. Again, aku, ikaw, siya, kita, kita niyo, kami, kamu, and sila. As you can observe, these pronouns are quite similar to the Tagalog pronouns or panghalip. The aku, the equivalent in Tagalog language is ako. In English, I or me. Then we have ikaw in the Sinūg language or kau, and Tagalog is ikaw. The English is you. Third person, siya, he or she. In the Sinūg language, we have a dual form which is kita. In the Tagalog, there are no dual forms. In English as well. The plural forms, we have kita niyo. In the Tagalog language, it's tayo. In English, us or we. Kami is the same in Tagalog, kami, or us or we. Again, this is the second exclusion. That means the second person is not included. Then we have the third exclusion, which is the first person is excluded, kamu. In Tagalog, it's kayo. Then it's in English, you, the plural form of you. And lastly, the fourth exclusion, wherein only the third persons are included, is sila. The same with the Tagalog is sila and they. Okay. So it's easier to learn if you are a Tagalog speaker, if you know this, and compared to English speakers. So when do we use nominative pronouns? So we have 2 uses. One, as direct subjects, and second, as focus of the verb. Let's discuss first the example as direct subjects. So this is actually self-explanatory and easier to understand. So we have an example here. Ako hi Ahmad. I am Ahmad. Siya hi Omar. He is Omar. So both siya and ako are nominative pronouns and they are the subject here. We also have ako, Ivan, ikaw. So me and you. So both nominative pronouns can exist together if they are separated by a coordinator like Ivan and siya in bagay ko. He or she, again, siya has no gender, so he or she is my friend. Bagay means friend. Ko is a pronoun. This is an oblique form which we will discuss in our next lesson. Okay, it means my friend. Okay, kami in magbagay. Another example, kami in magbagay. So we have the pronoun kami, which is plural form, and second exclusion. Kami in magbagay, we are friends, or magbagay kami, we are friends. Both are nominative pronouns and they are the subjects. Then, as you can see, when pronouns are used as direct subjects, we will always use the nominative form. So examples above are simple sentences without verbs. Why? Because verbs will always complicate things. So that's why we will discuss in the next topic, which is using nominative pronouns as focus of the verbs. So let's have an example here. Kimaon ako tinapay. I ate a bread. And kita siya sin police. He was seen by the police. The police saw him. Okay? So, in these examples, both aku and siya are nominative pronouns, and both of these pronouns are considered focus of the verbs. Verbs kimaon and kita respectively. They are the focus of these verbs. But these verbs, kimaun and kita, have different form of focus. What do we mean by verb of focus? Verb focus, so we will discuss it later. Okay? We will discuss about focus of the verbs. So, focus verbs are quite kind of complicated topic, but we will try to make it as simple as possible. Don't be intimidated with the terms that we will discuss later on, as they will be helpful. You will find them helpful in the later lessons, inshallah. So, let's go. So, verb focus. Verbs in the Sinūg language can take various forms. It depends on the mode or intent, the tenses, if it's in the future tense or the past tense, is it done or not done, or its focus. Now, we will discuss about focus. So, let's try to remember these terms, okay? We will introduce to you these terms. We have object focused verbs. So it is abbreviated as OFV, object focused verbs. Try to remember this. So these verbs are verbs that give emphasis on the receiver of the action, also known as the object. So an example here, an example of an object focused verb is the e-verbs. There are different object focused verbs, but we will introduce only one group here. The e-verbs. So we also coined this e-verbs first time in this lesson. E-verbs are verbs with the infix e inserted in between the root verb. An example here, we have the verb kiaun, siulat, and kita. As you can see, all of them have that infix iy. That's why we call them e-verbs. Then we have the actor focused verbs. So actor focused verbs are actor focused verbs here abbreviated as AFV. They are also known as originator focused verbs. Compared to the object focused verbs, actor focused verbs now gives emphasis or focus on the actor or doer of the verb. For example, in this lesson will be the im verbs, im. So these are verbs with the infix im inserted in them, like the verb kimaun, simulat, and kimita. As you can see, they have the infix im in between. We can compare it better in this table. As you can see, we have the focus, the difference between e-verbs and im-verbs. The e-verbs are object-focused verbs and im-verbs are actor-focused verbs. The root verb here are kaun, sulat, and kita. The e-verb form of the verb kaun is kiaun. The im-verb form of the verb kaun is kimaun. Look at the difference. They only differ on the infix attached to them. Sulat, again, right? The e-verb is siulat and the im-verb is simulat. They both mean the same thing, wrote. The past tense of sulat. We also have the verb kita, to see, and we have the e-verb form of the verb kita is kita, so, and kimita, so, or actually to see. So there are different forms of verbs, but we will only introduce these two groups, the e-verbs and the im-verbs. So how do we differentiate these two? How do we remember which is which? So I developed this mnemonics. Try to remember. I'm an actor and he is not. I'm an actor and he is not. So im-verbs, I'm an actor, are actor-focused verbs, and he, e-verb sounds like he, are not actor-focused verbs. Therefore, they are object-focused verbs. So, I'm an actor, im-verbs are actor-focused verbs, and he is not, e-verbs are not actor-focused verbs. Therefore, they are object-focused verbs. Okay? I'm an actor, he is not. Remember that. Let's study the examples below. Kimaun ako tinapay. I ate a bread. Kimaun ako tinapay. Let's dissect. So we have the verb kimaun, which means ate or have eaten. What is this? This is an im verb. Why? Because it has an infix im in between the root verb kaun, to eat. So im verb, I am an actor, he is not. Im verb is an action focus. It is an actor focused verb. Actor focused verb, or AFV. Remember, I'm an actor, he is not. Then we have a nominative pronoun ako, which means I or me, is a singular person, first person singular form. So because this is a nominative pronoun, and we have a verb which is an im verb, like kimaun, which is an actor-focused verb, its focus now is the nominative pronoun aku. Therefore, the verb aku is the actor of the verb kimaun. Then we have the object, well, because it's the remaining object here, bread. Tinapay means bread. Therefore, this word is now the object or the receiver of the action kaun. Okay? Therefore, it is translated as I ate a bread. Okay? Let's have another example. Simulat siya tarasul. In translation, he wrote a tarasul. So we have the verb simulat, which is again an im verb. An im verb is an actor-focused verb. Therefore, its focus is the actor. And because we have a nominative pronoun siya, now the verb simulat, its focus is the pronoun siya. Therefore, the pronoun siya is the actor of the verb simulat, wrote. And tarasul is the object. Tarasul is actually a kind of poetry written in Sinūg. We'll try to pause it here. Another example, we have Kimita kami panayam-nayam. Kimita kami panayam-nayam. Here, we have the verb kimita, which is an im verb. Again, an im verb is an actor-focused verb. It means its focus is the actor of the verb. So now the focus would be the nominative pronoun kami or we. Therefore, the pronoun kami is the actor of the verb kimita. Then panayam-nayam is the object. Panayam-nayam means contest or game. So we watch a game. Now how about using nominative pronouns with e-verbs? We have here kita siya sin police. Kita siya sin police. In translation, he was seen by the police or the police saw him. So we have the verb kita. What can you see? Kita has the infix iy. Therefore, it is an e-verb. An e-verb, again, I'm an actor, he is not. E-verb is an object-focused verb. So object-focused verb focuses on the object or the receiver of the action. Therefore, the nominative pronoun siya means he or she is the focus of the verb kita. And because the verb kita is an e-verb, which is an object-focused verb, the nominative pronoun siya is the receiver of the action, which is kita. Then we have sin police. The police is the actor of the verb. Wait, oh yeah, we have to discuss it, dissect it here. We discussed it earlier. Kita means saw or has seen. It is an e-verb. It means that means a verb with an iy, an infix iy attached to the root verb kita, to see. It is an object-focused verb. Remember, I'm an actor, he is not. Then we have siya, which is the nominative pronoun he or she, the third person singular form of a nominative pronoun. And because it is a nominative pronoun, therefore, it is the focus of the verb kita. And because the verb kita is an object-focused verb, the nominative pronoun, which is the focus of the verb kita, is the receiver or the object, the receiver of the action, kita. And we have sin police. Sin is a relator by or all, and police is a noun, a policeman. Therefore, it is the actor, because it's the remaining person here. It is the actor of the verb kita. So the police saw him, or it was him who was seen by the police. Let's have another example. Kyugdan ako sin batu. Kyugdan came from the root verb kugdan, to hit. Look, it is an e-verb. Therefore, it is an object-focused verb. And we have the nominative pronoun ako, which is the focus of the verb kyugdan. Because the verb kyugdan is an e-verb, and an e-verb is an object-focused verb, therefore, the nominative pronoun aku, which is the focus of the verb kyugdan, is the receiver of the verb kyugdan. So, when we say kyugdan ako sin batu, batu now is the actor of the verb. So, I was hit, it was translated as I was hit by the stone. The pronoun I is the receiver of the verb hit, and the actor is the stone. Okay. Let's compare it with another example. Look, we use the same root verb, kugdan. But this time, Kimugdan is an im verb. An im verb is an actor-focused verb. I'm an actor, he is not. And we have the nominative pronoun, which will always be the focus of the verb. And we have the verb kimugdan. Its focus is the pronoun aku. But because kimugdan is an im verb, which is an actor-focused verb, therefore the pronoun aku now becomes the actor. And now the batu, the word batu or stone is now the receiver of the action. That's why the translation now is I hit or bumped into a stone. It is now the pronoun aku or I is now the actor of the verb hit or bump into. Okay. Either way, in these examples, both the pronouns aku are the focus of the verbs, but the two verbs kiugdan and kimugdan have different focus or functions. Okay, I hope this is quite clear to everyone. If you have any questions, if it looks like it's complicated to you, just don't hesitate to message me. Okay, and we will discuss it later on. Now let's compare ikaw versus kau. As you can see here, as you can observe here, in our pronouns, nominative pronouns, we have two forms for the second person singular form, which is ikaw and kau. So how do we differentiate these two? It's simple. Use ikaw when the pronoun ikaw is written at the beginning of the sentence or when it is written before the verb, regardless of the focus. Okay, use ikaw when it is written at the beginning of the sentence or before the verb. Let's have an example. Ikaw inkyugdan sin bola. Look, the pronoun ikaw is written at the beginning of the sentence. So that's why we use the ikaw form and not the kau. So we say ikaw inkyugdan sin bola. At the same time, we have the verb kyugdan. It occurs after the pronoun ikaw. It is an e-verb, which means it is an object-focused verb, and its focus is still the pronoun ikaw. So it is translated as it was you who was hit by the ball. Okay. Let's have an example with inverbs. Ikaw in dimugtol pa kahoy. Again, ikaw is written at the beginning of the sentence. Therefore, we use the ikaw form with the I. And we have here the verb dimugtol. It is an inverb, an actor-focused verb. The focus is still the nominative pronoun ikaw, which is now the actor of the verb dimugtol. That's why it is translated as it was you who hit or bumped into the tree. So you here or ikaw is the actor of the verb, and kahoy or kahoy, tree, is now the receiver of the action. Okay? Next, kahapon, ikaw in kita ko. Now this time, the word ikaw does not appear at the very beginning of the sentence, but it occurs before the verb kita. Kita is an e-verb. Again, regardless of the focus, it's either an im verb or an e-verb. It's an actor-focused verb or an object-focused verb. If the pronoun ikaw occurs before the verb, it will always use the ikaw form. So it means, yesterday it was you whom I saw. Now let's see how the cow form are used. We use cow, or it's still the same. It still means the same thing. You use cow when the pronoun cow is written after the verb, regardless of the focus. Also, we use the pronoun cow if it is written again after an adjective, or we use cow if it shows interpersonal relationship. I'll have an example later on. Okay, let's see this example. This is using the pronoun cow after the verb. We have here kyugdan kaw sin bola. Look, the pronoun kaw now appears after the verb kyugdan. This is an e-verb, an object-focused verb. Therefore, the nominative pronoun kaw is now the receiver of the action, and bola is the actor. So we translate it as you were hit by a ball. We use the kaw form and not the ikaw form because the pronoun ikaw appears after the verb. Again, another example, this time an verb. As we told you earlier, regardless of the focus of the verb, if the pronoun ikaw appears after the verb, regardless of the focus, it will assume the ikaw form and not the ikaw form. We don't say di mugtol ikaw pakahoy. We say di mugtol kaw pakahoy. You bump into a tree. Then, using the kaw, the pronoun kaw, after an adjective, we have an example here. Malingkat kaw. Malingkat is an adjective. Remember, in the first lesson, it means beautiful. Malingkat. Then, because it follows an adjective, we use the kaw form. Malingkat kaw. We don't say malingkat ikaw. You say malingkat kaw. Means you are beautiful. Again. Now, for an example of showing personal relationship, we have here bagay takaw. Bagay takaw. Bagay means friend. Ta is an oblique pronoun. We will discuss this on the next lessons. And we have kaw means you. So you are my friend. It's can also mean possession, but it's more of personal relationship. It's an example. Ama kaw hi Fatima. See, the pattern here is the person with the relationship, then we have kaw, then he, then another person. Okay, so the owner or the relationship of this person to the second person is mediated by the pronoun kaw. So ama kaw hi Fatima. Ama means father and Fatima. So ama, this one is the owner, the father of Fatima. So ama kaw hi Fatima. You are Fatima's father. It shows personal relationship. Again, we'll see. Let's compare it better here. We use ikaw if the pronoun ikaw appears at the beginning of the sentence or before the verb, and we use kaw if it appears after the verb or after an adjective. Okay, so here these two have the same meaning. Ikaw in kyugdan sinbola. Ikaw in kyugdan sinbola. Ikaw here appears at the beginning of the sentence, and then compare it to this second example, kyugdan kaw sinbola. We use the same verb kyugdan, but because the pronoun kaw appears after the verb, we use the kaw form. But if we use it at the beginning like this, we use the ikaw form. Okay, same goes with these other examples. So that is all. Let's practice. Try to solve this. You can also download the exercises at this link. And that's it for lesson 3. So in this lesson, we learned that there are 3 different types of pronouns. We have the nominative pronouns, the oblique pronouns, and the genitive pronouns. In the nominative pronouns, we have 2 uses, as subjects and as focus of the verbs. We also introduced to you the basic verb focus. We have actor focus verbs and object focus verbs. And our examples are the im verbs and the e verbs. We also discussed the difference in using ikaw versus kaw. Okay, so that is all for today. Again, magsukul for joining us today. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to message me at our Facebook page. I can always reply faster there. You can also join our WhatsApp group chat using the link below. And with that, for those who haven't registered yet, you can still register to our class. Join us. We now have at least 20 students. With that, thank you again, magsukul, and salam kasilasa. See you on our next lesson. Bye-bye.